Welcome into the season premiere of Green Bay Nation, and it feels so good to say football is back. The Packers kick off the season at Lambeau Field in just 4 days against, well, those pesky Lions and Dan Campbell. While the offseason has featured a lot of the same cast of characters you've gotten to know and love over the past few years, the headlines recently have been stolen by one guy who's made that number popular. We have plenty to talk about as the 2025 season awaits. Green Bay Nation starts right now. Welcome into Green Bay Nation, Episode 1. Feels so good to say. I'm Cameron Ezair. I'll be trying to hold down the ship with these two guys. That's Ryan Wood, Green Bay Press-Gazette beat writer. And if you got a phone, you better call Eversole. That's Marcus Eversole, radio host on 107.5 The Game. We got 4 days until the season. How does it feel, guys?
Feels great. Feels like forever, and at the same time, almost feels like it snuck up on us. Time moves differently during football season, doesn't it?
I'm more in the second part of that.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's week 1 already. Camp goes by so fast, and then all of a sudden, you know, it's here, and it surprises you.
I also didn't get the memo, but the colors, you guys are so colorful.
I wanted to match Marcus.
I'm
a colorful person.
This is great.
My dream to match
like,
Marcus.
It looks like I'm not a colorful person. It's my dream to match you guys.
My pants are black. That doesn't help. Right
no,
now.
You're not going to see them right now. No, that's not the case. Well, you mentioned that the summer flies by. Well, it's very appropriate because it's similar to what Matt LaFleur said about the Micah Parsons trade, where it's great that you get a guy like that, but it's bittersweet that you send Kenny Clark to the Cowboys, right? It's bittersweet that summer is over. Micah Parsons is a Green Bay Packer. No, you were not dreaming, and here are the details. 4-year, $188 million extension, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. And let's just say the hype is real, not just for fans, but also the guys in that locker room. This is one of my favorite tweets put out by a player in that Green Bay locker room. His Penn State teammate Rasheed Walker, the left tackle, saying, Shido says the Packers are winning a Super Bowl this year, and what Shido says goes. And like I said, the fanfare is there as well. If they're going to win the Super Bowl, the fans have to be hype about Micah Parsons on the Green Bay Packers. Marcus, so much so that even your 2-year-old son, Cal, is in on the hype. I want to know, what was quicker, Matthew Golden running a 40-yard dash, or you buying that jersey for your son?
Definitely buying the jersey for Cal, and also just look how adorable he is. And also notice how the window is wide open in front of him.
Yeah.
I think that's fitting. You make a move for Micah Parsons, you are saying the window is wide open. That's a move that a team makes if they think they're ready to win a Super Bowl. It's exactly what the Packers just did.
Wow. Micah Parsons, the Green Bay Packer. It's not a dream, a guy that has 12 or more sacks in each of his first 4 seasons. The only other NFL player that can say that, Reggie White. So very appropriate. Ryan, start with you. What does this move do for the Pack?
It opens windows, right? I mean, it's limitless now when you talk about Micah Parsons and where the ceiling, not a window, a ceiling might go. It's a game changer. It's the biggest acquisition outside the draft, and this is a draft and develop team since Reggie White in the early 90s. You could go on and on. This is a week where hyperbole really matches reality, and so yeah, you can say whatever you want. It is a game changer. He wrecks games, and you win Super Bowls with a guy like this.
Yeah, and you know, before they made this move, I honestly think, we talked about if you could add any player in the NFL to the Packers roster, I truly thought their number 1 pick, my number 1 pick, would have been Micah Parsons. He'd certainly be on the short list with guys like Myles Garrett. Bottom line, what this team was lacking was a premier pass rusher. They got the most versatile pass rusher in the league at 26 years old, in his prime. There's no reason why a team should be trading him away, and yet it's Jerry Jones and the Cowboys, and they kind of do what they want. But good news for the Packers, you literally couldn't have a better vibe going into a season than the one that the Packers have right now post Micah Parsons trade.
Well, hey, it set alarms off when Micah Parsons came to Green Bay. I like
Good
that.
transition.
But you knew that
It's
right
live
away.
TV, you know.
You set your alarm for that reason. Like we said, Micah Parsons, he adds to a pass rush that definitely was bleak last season. A team that was top 10 in the NFL in sacks. When you think about it, half of those were in only 4 games. This team got a whole lot better in that department. We're incorporating a lot of new things as the Packers did by bringing in one of the best pass rushers in the NFL into this show. And we're going to get into our instant offer play brought to you by 920 Home Buyers. This is pretty nice. Look at that. It's nice and beautiful. So this is how it's going to work. Each week, you two are going to pick a play from the previous game And what you're going to do is you're going to tell me what it is and why you think it made an impact. Obviously, there was no game last week, so we're going to track you all the way back to when the Packers lost to the Eagles in the wild card round. I'm sorry, Packers fans, I don't mean to do that to you, but and then also we're going to talk about what Green Bay has corrected in the offseason when you look at that play, or what they still have to correct going into Sunday against Detroit. So Ryan, let's start with you.
Yeah, I mean, my mind immediately went back to right here because this was the beginning of the game. Keyshawn Nixon just lost the fumble. And if you run it, like, there's not a lot of analysis here. It's Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons. That's not happening with Micah Parsons, right? You're not going to have a quarterback hold it 8 seconds. This wasn't why they lost the game. The offense couldn't get untracked in Philly. But it was a big reason why they were not a Super Bowl-worthy team last year, because they couldn't consistently get home with 4. You do that with Micah Parsons.
So, Ryan, you went defensive side of the football. Marcus, you went on the offensive side.
Yeah, well, there was a play where Jordan Love threw an interception to Zach Bond, and when you watch the play in real time, it just looks like he threw it directly to him, and he did. But I thought Matt LaFleur gave a great explanation of this play. You can see Malik Heath at the top of your screen there. He's supposed to run that route at 20 yards. Instead, he runs it at 15 yards, and you can roll it. And you see then when Love makes the throw that Zach Bond's right in his passing lane. If Heath runs that route 5 yards deeper, maybe the throw's a little higher. It's a layered throw. It's just kind of a reminder of all the different things that go into a successful or unsuccessful passing play. That play was a lot deeper than Jordan Love just deciding to throw the ball to Zach Bond. So you think about some moves they've made in the offseason, and Matthew Golden, his precise route running. Not that he's never going to run a wrong route or anything, but the Packers hope for different results here in 2025.
And maybe with Jordan Love going into his third year as a starter, you can temper the criticisms on the fact that many think he is turnover prone, right? He turns the ball over a good amount. Now, Jordan Love, we've talked so much about him being in his third year as a starter, but let's be honest, it's his 6th year in the system. This guy's almost turning into a veteran at this point. You blink your eye, and Jay Love is the leader of this team. Now, he's dealt with that torn ligament in his non-throwing hand on his thumb. So, Marcus, obviously you told us earlier today that he's not limited at all, but from what you've seen out of Jordan Love, do you feel like it's worth saying the expectations are the absolute ceiling of this guy can lead this team to a Super Bowl?
Absolutely. I think that's the measuring stick in Green Bay. I mean, we call it Title Town, and I feel like Jordan Love, he's an example of, I think you can see confidence. You can see when guys are comfortable. I know you guys have also been watching him all summer at training camp, and he just looks different to me. It's how his teammates respond to him. He seems to be coming into his own, and now fully healthy, I think he's in for a huge year.
What about you, Ryan?
You know, he's saying a lot more when he is asked questions. I've noticed that, and I think that that is always a sign of a young player being more confident and comfortable in his role. There's a lot of pressure on him still. It's a quarterback-driven league. If the Packers get to the Super Bowl, Jordan Love's going to play at a very high level. But a lot of that pressure is also taken off because the quarterback's best friends, running back, running game, and an elite defense. The Packers have the makings of that.
And if the Packers have any success this season, it'll also come down to that wide receiving core. And they added a massive piece back in April at the NFL Draft, and we're going to chat about him. Matthew Golden, this guy's fast for a reason. He's a first-round pick for a reason. Green Bay's Golden Boy. We'll chat about his training camp performance when we come back. Back here on Green Bay Nation with Marcus and Ryan, I'm Cam. Back in April, Mark Murphy just led an eruption of fans when he said the Packers were taking Matthew Golden, first wide receiver taken in the first round by the Packers since 2002. And he's needed to be stellar in the offseason, especially because the receiver problems, well, they've been there in terms of the injuries. 5 of their top receivers dealing with problems. A good amount of them are back. But when you think of Matthew Golden, Marcus, what has he added to this team? What can he add?
He has added a lot, and he can add even more. Obviously, we know about the sub 4.3 speed. I think as a red zone target, too, I think his superpower, even more than his straight line speed, is his short area quickness, his precise route running, and he has some of the strongest hands I've ever seen. I have not seen a Packers rookie come in and make as early of an impact or make as obvious of an impact as Matthew Golden. It's crazy because the Micah Parsons thing overshadows everything. You almost forget that this was the summer of Golden until they made that move.
And now we go over to the defensive side of the football, because as much as Golden can be good on offense, if the Packers don't have a good defense, they're facing a lot of really tough teams, especially at home. So under year 2 of Jeff Hafley, is there an extra level that you feel like this team can take, and what is it?
Yeah, I mean, they've been talking about that since Philly. But look, Jeff Hafley's bag of creativity is endless. But players make coaches. It's not coaches that make players. And you look at this Packers defense now. You have elite talent potentially on all levels. Micah Parsons up front, Edgerrin Cooper linebacker, and the best safety in the league in Xavier McKinney. That's a lot of star power on one defense. You expect them to play to that. But on paper, it looks, as Edgerrin Cooper said this week, nightmare for opponents.
And the number that sticks out, 43. This Packers team wants to break an NFL record by forcing 43 forced fumbles. It's a lot.
That is a lot. I'm going to take the under because it's never happened before.
Right.
But, you know, I think there's going to be a lot of them.
Guess what? They want that. I want a steak dinner tonight. I'm probably not going to get it. So, hey.
Shout out to the Ball King.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Wendell Davis, they're calling him the Ball King to emphasize taking away the football. We'll see if that comes to fruition. Okay, let's take a break here on Green Bay Nation. When we come back, we're headed into the locker room because, hey, the Detroit Lions are coming to town, and Detroit's dominance has been there, but this Packers team is relentless. They're not holding back. They want to take on this Lions team head on. How are they feeling about taking on Detroit in Week 1? We'll check in with Carson Fowler after the break. Well, Sunday will mark Green Bay's first season opener at home since 2018, and the first time since 2001 that it'll be against the Lions, and that's when the Pack dominated 28-6 if you're a fan of score lines. Now, as of recent, Detroit has had Green Bay's number, winning 6 of their last 7 over the green and gold. Let's just say that doesn't sit well with the guys over at 1265 Lombardi Ave. Time to go in the zone with Carson Fowler.
Last year, the Green Bay Packers went just 1-5 against the NFC North. Even worse, they were swept by Detroit. But the Lions are without both of their coordinators from last year, Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, who left for head coaching positions with the New York Jets and Chicago Bears. But come Week 1, when the Packers play Detroit, Packers linebacker Edgerrin Cooper says he wouldn't have it any other way.
It's a great way to get the season going. We all looking forward to it. It's going to be an exciting game. It's going to be a dogfight, and that's what we like. We like to be in dogfights.
I think we can't last in our division or something like that. Third, that ain't good enough. Like, we still have a bad taste in our mouth. We lost to Detroit twice last year. Lost to Minnesota twice last year. We're coming in to make a statement.
We definitely got a good test coming here Week 1. I think not even going against the Lions, but just our performance against every team in the NFC North. Wasn't good enough, wasn't up to our standards. So it's always a point that we focus on is trying to go out there and win the NFC North.
Been watching the Lions for a while. Love to start off the year the right way. Other than that, man, just another game. Got to go 1-0.
The NFC North will again be one of the tougher divisions in the NFL, but the Packers believe they're up for the assignment ahead. Kickoff against Detroit is scheduled for 3:25 this Sunday. Reporting from Lambeau Field for Green Bay Nation, I'm Carson Fowler.
Thanks, Carson. Marcus, what are your eyes on? What are they glued on for this game?
Look, the Packers are overdue to just impose their will on the Lions at Lambeau. I know they're saying nice things about playing at Lambeau and all. Everybody loves Lambeau. Look, from 92 to 2014, the Lions had a 24-game losing streak in the state of Wisconsin. This is no longer their house of horrors. They've won 3 straight at Lambeau. The Packers need to turn that around.
That's why I think that this Week 1 is maybe a little bit bigger than a usual Week 1. Look, Week 1 is what it is. There's always going to be hot takes galore because it's the only sample size you have in the season. And then there's the rest of the season. But this is a statement opportunity against a team that's owned you for a few years. They need to take advantage of that.
And the game right here on CBS. The more the merrier. Okay, you guys are going to get ready to get your flags out. We're playing challenge or no challenge. That'll be a fun one. We'll see if they throw the flags at each other. That was a huge trend last season. We'll play on the other side.
Throwing at you.
Back here on Green Bay Nation with a twist. It's challenge or no challenge, but featuring the Titletown 30, so you guys know the rules. I know you guys have been away from this football field, makeshift football field, for a little bit, but if you don't like the statement or you disagree with the statement that I say, you throw the challenge flag like Matt LaFleur. If you like it, you agree with me, you keep it in your hand. But we're also featuring, like I said, a brand new segment, the Titletown 30. You guys have heard of the 2-minute drill. We're not going to run a 2-minute drill. We're going to do the Titletown 30. We're going to start at the 30-yard line and go right ahead. Now, what that means is with the Titletown 30, you get 30 seconds of uninterrupted time to talk about anything in the green and gold if you win challenge or no challenge the week before. So there's 3 prompts. If you do better than the other person, you get the 30 seconds. Got it?
Got it.
Good. Well, there were no games last week, obviously, so we're going to track it back, the prompts, to the last time the Packers played the Detroit Lions. These were the 3 prompts, and let's see who came out on top between Ryan and Marcus, the two snazzy-looking fellas, and it is... Give me Ryan and Marcus. That makes you angry, right? Has to make you angry that Ryan gets 30 seconds.
New Twitter profile pic right there.
Oh my God.
That's awesome. Well, we don't have to see that face for much longer because we're going to see Ryan's face for at least 30 seconds. So get that time up on the clock, and Ryan Wood, you get 30 seconds right now.
I think we have to take a minute just to recognize the medal that Ryan Gutekunst has. It's no surprise. He's the GM that drafted Jordan Love and traded Aaron Rodgers. But his catalog's pretty extensive. He traded Devontae Adams. He signed Josh Jacobs, released Aaron Jones. He signed Jimmy Graham and released Jordy Nelson. Now he's done it again in this Micah Parsons trade, making the very difficult decision, painful for this organization, sending Kenny Clark to the Dallas Cowboys. Gutekunst never lets the personal get in the way of the personnel, and that is literally the job that he has in this role.
That buzzer, it's gonna scare you.
I made it.
It's okay.
I
That
made
was
it.
very well worded.
I thought
by
that was
the way.
great, yeah.
He doesn't let the personal get in the way. It's almost like he's a writer.
I'm a writer. I don't talk on time, though, and
That's what you
apparently
do.
I have my alarm go off in the middle of live TV.
Right, but buzzer, alarm, we like those sounds on Green Bay Nation. Okay, let's get to challenge or no challenge. Jordan Love, he's 1-3 against the Detroit Lions over the last 2 years. 0-3 when he doesn't throw more than a passing touchdown, so he might need to do so. Challenge or no challenge, Jordan Love throws more than 1 touchdown.
I'm going to challenge that. I think he throws 1, but I'll say it's only 1. So I'm going to challenge it partially because I just like throwing flags. But they've had a lot of guys in and out of the lineup, as we know, on the offensive line and at receiver. They may be a little shorthanded without Jaden Reed. We'll see. I'll take the under.
You heard it. He's a Jordan Love hater.
I'm not.
Official.
Ooh, clip
I'm
it.
not.
Oh, boy.
With that face.
I'm going to go over. It makes no sense because they've had no receivers other than Matthew Golden through the entirety of camp. But I just feel like it's going to be one of those games where they're able to air it out, and I'm going to go over.
Well, I like trends. Xavier McKinney had a pick in 5 straight games last year, so why not continue that? Marcus, challenge or no challenge, Xavier McKinney will have an interception and almost repeat what he did last year.
I'm going to challenge that. I'm a numbers
you
guy.
love
I like to
flags.
play the odds. And Xavier McKinney, second in the league with 8 interceptions last year. That's still more games that he did not have a pick than that he did. Barely 9 over 8. I'm going to say he does not have a pick. I'm playing the numbers.
I'm glad you did challenge that. So I'm not a Xavier McKinney hater, but I'm going to challenge as well because of the same reasons. The numbers. Look, with Micah Parsons or Sean Gary on the edge, the quarterbacks are not going to have the luxury of avoiding the deep middle like they did last year. There will be Xavier McKinney picks. I just think week 1 after 5 straight, I mean, at some point, the law of averages even out.
Last one for you, make it really quick. Micah Parsons, he's known for sacks. He has one against Detroit.
Go sick him, Micah. I think he will have a sack. I don't care how many snaps he plays.
I'm not challenging that. In fact, Micah Parsons has a sack in each of his past 3 regular season openers. Did not as a rookie and then had like 2.5 the next week. I do not. I think he's going to have a sack.
3 flags on the ground means there will be no ties. So someone will run the Titletown 30 next week. When we come back, we're getting green. Oh, okay. We're getting green and bold, making our predictions as I throw a flag. We'll be right back. Here in Green Bay Nation, Lions, Packers on Sunday. Who you got?
I've got the Lions blue on, but not because I'm picking the Lions. It just brings out my eyes. I'm picking the Packers.
It does bring out your eyes, Marcus. I'm also picking the Packers because I think it's a statement win. I think they need to have it.
I agree with you. Taking the Packers, too. That's GBN. See you next week.